Hey guys, and welcome to another GameXplain discussion. I'm your host, Derek Bittner, and I'm joined today by Andre Seegers and Ash Paulson to discuss their general impressions of Super Smash Bros. Wii U. So guys, you got some hands-on time with the game. What'd you think?
Oh, it's freaking awesome. But I'll let Ash go first. But I already have my whole preview, so I'll let Ash give his impressions before I go on forever about how awesome this game is.
Well, I'm actually still jealous of you, Andre, because like at the event I went to today, I only actually got to play maybe around 20 minutes of it until they kind of ushered me into other games that were cool, but they weren't Smash Brothers.
Right.
But for the 20 minutes I got to play, I mean, of course, it's awesome. I'm super excited about it. You know, it's Smash 3DS, but with a proper controller, you know, and high definition visuals, and it feels right. It feels like going home, which is exactly what I said about it at E3. It just feels right, and somehow it feels faster. I know it's not. I mean, I know it's the same engine, same mechanics, but for some reason the Wii U version just feels a little snappier. You know, it is not a huge difference at all, but I don't know, something about the 3DS version just seems a little slower and more methodical, and this seems a bit faster.
I mean, I don't disagree. I think I said in my preview, like, I mean, on paper, I mean, not even on paper, like in practice, it controls identically to the 3DS, but it feels so different. Like, it just feels quite a bit different, and you know, I think it's a function of using the GameCube controller or a proper controller and being on the TV, and I don't know what else, but it does just feel different, and it feels way better to me because of it.
I agree, yeah. I mean, everything just feels better, and it does. There's no doubt that the 3DS version was kind of the secondary version in terms of development priority, because it just feels more complete, the Wii U version. When you turn it on, you play it, you know, you see the opening, there's a little more visual flair to the menus and things. Not, of course, the 3DS version is not going to look as good, but that's not what I mean. I just mean that the Wii U version just looks a little more polished, it feels a little more polished. It's very clear that this is the definitive version in terms of what Sakurai and his team were working on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm so jealous of both of you. I just want to play and I can't.
Honestly, you're better off. Like to have to be there and then only get to play 20 minutes is almost worse than not getting to play it at all.
Yeah, Ash is saying he has Smash Blue Balls right now.
Well, pretty much, and not to mention the fact that when I left, all of Gull and Harris, Nintendo's PR firm, Nintendo had invited like the entire team over for like an 8-player Smash Brothers tournament. And everyone had arrived just as I was leaving. So it was like 20 people watching me leave. It was like the ultimate walk of shame. I'm like, can you guys, I kind of want to stay and play. I could just be Gull and Harris for one night. And they're like, so we'll walk you out. Thanks for coming. And I'm like, but I want to stay. It was such a walk of shame.
You should have offered to settle it in Smash.
That's true. I should, and they probably would have let me stay.
Exactly.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, since you only got 20 minutes, what stages did you get to play on, Ash?
I got to play on, let's see, Big Battlefield and Mario Galaxy and the Great Cave Offensive. And cool. That's about it, unfortunately. They were it's weird. Even though the event happened last week that Andre went to and he was allowed to play everything, they were very restrictive with what they allowed me to play at this event. So I don't know if maybe there was just the left hand didn't necessarily know what the right hand was doing. There was some confusion, but they didn't really let me play on a whole lot. So I only got to try those 3 stages.
Well, what did you think of those 3 stages then?
I mean, Big Battlefield is exactly what you think it is. It's a bigger version of Battlefield. Mario Galaxy is beautiful. I love the color palette in Mario Galaxy. It's really great looking, and it instantly made me pine for Super Mario Galaxy HD. It's really great looking. I love the curvature of the planet that you're on, and in terms of how if you throw an item, it kind of flies along with the curvature of the planet instead of flying straight. And it's a bigger stage than you think too. It's actually quite large, and it's really ideal for if you want a little more space to fight. And then the Great Cave Offensive, I'm not sure yet. I only got to play on it once. I'm not quite sold on it yet, just because it's such a giant stage that the camera is so zoomed out. In 8-player matches or when you're far away from the other opponent, it doesn't really feel very visceral. It feels like the action's really far away. And I'm also, obviously you have to KO people in a different manner in the Great Cave Offensive by throwing them into the danger zones when they're at 100% or more. So it definitely requires a different kind of strategy. I wasn't super blown away by, the overall mechanics of the stage, but I want to try it again and kind of get a better feel for it. But I did get to hear an awesome remix of the Crystal Caves theme from the Great Cave Offensive, and that made me happy.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you. It was like, what kind of music did you get to hear with these stages? Like, and like with Mario Galaxy, was it standard one, or was it something really?
Well, Mario Galaxy, it was the Super Mario Galaxy 2 main theme. But although we know, which is great, but we do know from a recent video that you yourself posted, Andre, that the Wonderful 101 final boss theme is a music selection in that stage, which is really cool and really random and strange.
It was very unusual, yeah, but it is really cool to see. Makes you wonder if there might be any other Wonderful 101 songs in the game.
Yeah, I mean, we know there are trophies, so it's kind of weird to see these kind of random third-party franchises, even though Nintendo published them, getting kind of just random representation in Smash, even if it's through a trophy or a music song. Kind of makes me wonder if we're going to get Rayman music.
Well, yeah, we were kind of joking about that. I was like, and I was immediately thought, you say, you know what? I would love to have some Rayman Origins or Rayman Legends music in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's some great songs in there.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, what if we got their version of what is it, Black Betty? That'd be awesome. You know, the castle level from Legends.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
Oh, that would be really cool. Yeah.
But yeah, no, the music selection's looking great, especially if they decide to add in those like random songs that have nothing to do with that level, but just like, okay, we think this kind of fits for this level, so here you go.
I think they will. Based on some of the videos that have come out, it sounds like each stage is going to have a giant selection of songs, and yeah, there are probably going to be a few that don't quite perfectly fit the IP that that the stage is from.
So I guess that's Ash's basic impressions. What about you, Andre? I know you gave us our preview and everything, but that's not enough time. I'm sure you can rave about this game even more. It sounds like
I could go on for a while. No, the game is just really, really fun. Based on what I played, yeah, I just had a blast with almost everything I tried at the preview event. As I said in the preview itself. And I mean, I really just can't wait to play more, because it really is a Smash Brothers game I've been waiting for. Like the 3DS one to me already seems like it's come and gone. Like it was a blip on my radar, then it was in the past. Now it's all about Smash Brothers Wii U. And yeah, this is the one I want. Like it just handles so well from what I played. The new stages are a lot of fun, which we'll be having a whole discussion on, by the way, pretty soon, where we'll go through all the new stages one by one, giving our thoughts on them. There's so many new modes and single-player stuff there that it looks like there's gonna be a ton to keep you busy, even when you don't have friends around to play. So yeah, I mean, I just liked everything I tried, even including the amiibo I had fun with, despite me being very skeptical of that at first. And to be fair, I still maybe, once it actually comes out. I didn't have much time with it, but based on what I played, I have fun with it. I think Ash got to try that too a little bit,
yeah.
Right?
They actually gave me quite a little presentation on that, and yeah, they were fun. I was really shocked and impressed by how quickly the amiibo data is read by the gamepad.
It's quick, yeah.
It's instantaneous almost, and it's fun watching your amiibo kind of level up and learn along with you as you play with them. Like you, Andre, I'm not sure how much I'll actually use it in practice once the game actually comes out, but I'm definitely gonna get at least one amiibo, and it's a cool idea. There's kind of a gee whiz factor when you first see it in action, and it's like, oh, that's really cool. But again, in actual practice, this is something that I'll keep on using with Smash Bros. Wii U in a year and 2 years from now. Who knows? Maybe not.
I guess the biggest problem with the amiibo is that it requires you using the gamepad for a few seconds.
That's true. I mean, I don't mind. I actually like the gamepad a lot as a controller, but I wouldn't use it for Smash, of course.
Oh, no, that's purely what I mean. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to be using a GameCube controller for the game. Otherwise, the gamepad's fine.
Right.
But I actually tried playing a match when I first got to the preview event. I actually first tried using the gamepad. I was even though it is just like the 3DS one, which I have gotten used to, it felt completely foreign to me in Smash Brothers on the Wii U. Like it's like my brain can't wrap itself around playing on a TV without the gamepad, without the GameCube controller. So.
Oh no, I hear you. Yeah. But what you're really going to end up doing is you're just going to use your 3DS to control it, right?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm curious. You guys have talked about the amiibos. There's been a lot of discussion that's come out recently about the quality of them, and well, you guys got to see them firsthand. I mean, is the quality that bad, or? So
Ash could probably speak to this better than I can, because the event I went to, the lighting was really terrible, so I could not see them well. But based on what I saw, like I didn't notice like any huge drop in quality there. But I also wasn't looking that closely. I would say though that just holding them, they felt a little bit cheaper than I expected. I don't know, they felt like a little bit like somewhere between like a McDonald's toy and like a higher end action figure you would buy, if that makes sense. I don't know. What did you think, Ash?
Yeah, I think the quality of the amiibo really, it kind of runs the gamut, kind of depending on the character. A lot of the more humanoid characters really have fared a lot worse, so I think the worst one of the bunch is by far Marth. I mean, Marth really almost looks like a McDonald's toy. He looks so bad. And Peach isn't looking too hot either. But like Villager, even though he's not exactly humanoid, Villager, there's something off about him. Like, so some of the figures don't look so hot, but there are others that look perfectly great. Kirby looks great, Yoshi looks great, Mario, Donkey Kong, Pikachu. So I really, it does seem to be kind of a by character thing. They're not all bad, they're not all good. It just kind of depends on which character it is, and hopefully your favorite character, the one you want, isn't one of the ones that kind of sucks, because... Yeah, and from Wave 2 as well. We haven't seen him in person, but pictures have shown us that Zelda's not looking too great. So, it really is on a per-character basis.
It does kind of seem like almost that which kind of makes sense, I guess. It's the more detailed characters that they run into some trouble with.
Yeah.
Where the simpler ones like Kirby and Pikachu, yeah, they look fine. Or even Yoshi, who I was using at the event. Mm-hmm. And that's why I didn't think I noticed any problem there, because he's the one I was using the most. And that one's fine. Like he looks like Yoshi, like dead on. So
it's true, but that doesn't really excuse Villager, because there's something really off about Villager. I don't know exactly what it is.
It's the eyes.
I guess it is the eyes, huh? But Samus looks great, and that's another
she does
one.
Actually.
She's really detailed, but Samus looks really nice. Yeah, and Fox actually does too. So it's weird. Like, even some of the more detailed characters actually turned out well. I don't really know what the deciding factor is, but I can definitely tell you that Marth is the stuff of nightmares.
Well, it seems to be. I mean, it does seem to be the face where they run into issues.
Yeah.
That's why Samus, I think, gets by, because she doesn't have a face.
Well, yeah, and we'll have to see how Zero Suit Samus looks when that eventually comes around.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I saw some of your pictures, and yeah, I totally agree with the way you want those. Like, some of them look great, others not so much, but. Way it goes. Now, one of the things that you kind of brought up, and that Pro Jared was at the event that you were at, Andre, playing it out, doing his own thing, and had his own impressions. And one of the things he said was that the new Smash Brothers GameCube controllers aren't, like, they worked fine. They worked just as well as you'd expect them to, but the quality didn't seem to be as good as before. They felt a little more, I guess, plasticky or cheap. What did you guys think about those controllers? It's
possible. I didn't notice any difference playing it then. I mean, granted, again, preview events are always weird because you're not able to focus entirely on on anything specific. You're busy doing work, busy talking to PR, so you can't, pay full attention to really anything. With that said, like, I did not notice a difference. Like, it felt like a GameCube controller to me. But, I don't know, maybe once we get it in, we'll notice a difference.
No, actually, I agree with you, Andre. And I actually went into my event today focusing on that as one of my things, because I had someone ask me that question before I went in. So I was really kind of paying attention to the new Smash Brothers GameCube controller. And honestly, I could tell no difference. And I've used a lot of GameCube controllers in my time, and it didn't feel cheaper or really poorer at all to me. I mean, it worked fine, obviously, but in terms of the look of it and the feel of it, it felt just right in my hands. It felt weighty enough. I do use Wavebirds more often than traditional GameCube controllers, so maybe my frame of reference is a little off, but honestly, I had no problem with them, and they didn't feel cheap at all to me.
I was just going to mention that, because I do wonder if the Wavebird and GameCube controllers use different plastic, maybe?
Possibly.
They always have felt a little bit different to me, so I wonder if maybe that's a Pro Jared experience. Maybe he used Wavebirds primarily, and they went back to the...
Well, I do too, though. I primarily have used Wavebirds over the last several years for Brawl and other GameCube games.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but honestly, I had no problem with the build quality of the new GameCube controllers. So that's my impression. And actually, going back to what you said about the Amiibo really quick, about the build quality, they are a little light, and I can see what you mean, Andre, about them feeling slightly cheap, but I didn't quite get I hesitate to use the term McDonald's toy anywhere close to Amiibo, because they really don't feel that cheap to me. Like, even in the same breath. They definitely don't feel like they're on the level of like a higher-end action figure, but... they occupy a comfortable middle ground such that I wouldn't really be comfortable even saying McDonald's toy in the same breath.
I think that's literally exactly what I said. I'm like, it's halfway between a McDonald's toy and the action figure.
That's true. I just I think I worry that when people hear McDonald's toy, they're immediately going to think, oh, these are cheap, dinky little things. And I want to stress that they really aren't.
But the thing is, like, the McDonald's toys are free. And these are $13.
Yeah, good. That's a good point.
So I think for me, for that price point, I was expecting something a little bit higher quality.
Sure.
So I don't know. I mean, they aren't bad quality. They're just not great quality either. So
well, and one thing I actually noticed is that each figure has a different weightiness to it. Like DK, you would expect him to be bigger, a little heavier, and he actually is. So even though someone like Kirby feels really light to the touch, DK actually has a bit of heft to him. So it's interesting that they're not just, kind of going with the same light build quality for each character.
Right. And I should mention too, I got one of those Mario Kart toys from McDonald's not too long ago, and it actually wasn't that bad in quality. Like when I say when I say McDonald's toy, like I don't mean it like as that disparaging. Like it's more
okay,
like,
fair
it's more
enough,
like here's what you expect. It's not like it's not horrible. It's not like I felt I've seen toys far worse in quality than McDonald's toys. So
I think that coming away from the whole event though, I think the most impressive thing to me about the amiibo was just how fast it was read by the gamepad. I mean, it is almost instant, and I can't stress that enough. It's really cool. It
is really quick. Did you notice your amiibo like picking up anything or learning or growing as you were playing?
I only got to do it. They actually didn't even let me make my own. I had to play with one that someone else had made. So I got to play with a level 1 Pikachu, and yeah, I saw it. I got to level 6 in one battle. I could see it learning slowly, but it was kind of hard to tell. Right. But I will say that I got to play against a level 34 Mario and a level 50 Wii Fit trainer, and there's definitely a difference. I mean, they get pretty tough.
Yeah, like it seems like I had my Yoshi out there, and he was up to level 17, I think, maybe even higher at one point in an 8-player match. He was giving the other people like some major problems. Like he actually outlasted me, and so it came down to like a 1-to-1 duel between the last guy, and Yoshi was holding his own for a while. So I was happy for. I was like rooting him on. I'm like, yeah, go Yoshi.
Nice. I will say that I did win the majority of my matches against the high level amiibo, but some of that is probably due to items. So it's hard to tell exactly how much trouble I would have had if items were off, but I did win against a level 50 Wii Fit trainer, and it didn't feel like that much crazy harder than a level 9 CPU. But again, I got a golden hammer and a smash ball, so it's kind of hard to tell.
Right.
So I know you didn't get to try out these modes, Ash, but Andre, what did you think of the other type of modes that they had there, like Smash Tour, and I don't know if you got to try out the orders or not, whatnot, but those type of extra modes they showed off at the during the extravaganza.
Yeah, I got to try a little bit of orders, and I did one round of Smash Tour. Smash Tour, I'm not sure. I mean, I don't even know what to think about it at this point. I only got to do a round, and that's not enough to form an opinion. I will say it's not quite what I was hoping for when we first heard of there being a board game. I don't know. Thinking I was expecting something maybe a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit grander, for lack of a better word. This one, I don't know, it's weird. I need to play it more. Maybe it'll be awesome. I do like some ideas behind it. Like, I love the final match, so basically the whole idea of the board game is you're going around collecting fighters you're adding to your roster. And those characters represent your stocks, basically, for the final match at the end of the board game. So if you collect, like, a Toon Link and a Yoshi, like, if you die, then your next character you found, like, being Toon Link, well, you'll play as him instead, and then once he dies, then you'll play as Yoshi. All in the same match. So what I like about it is the grand match is actually suitably epic as compared to like Smash Run, which is just a 1-minute match. Here it actually can go on for a while. So it works. I just need to play more to see how well it actually, if it's going to keep me coming back or not.
Even though I haven't played it, my favorite part of Smash Tour, from everything we've heard about it, is by far the idea at the end that you get to use the lineup of fighters that you've collected throughout the whole match. I think that's a great idea, and I would love to see that become its own mode.
I actually asked, Nate Bildorf was there showing off that mode. I'm like, hey, is this an option anywhere else in the game? And he doesn't, or as far as he knows, it's not.
Yeah, I figured not.
It's such a missed opportunity. It's like you had the functionality built into the game.
Yeah.
Why isn't that a mode? It would make so much sense. Like, where you choose your team as your stocks, and then just play from there.
Yeah, it's too bad. It would be fun.
Yeah.
Really would. And you could see some interesting things going on, too. Like, let's say somebody has, like, 5 stocks, but they're all characters they're not really that great with. And the other person has 1 stock, and it's that one character they're really good at. You could see that sort of comeback happen and make the matches a little bit more interesting. On its own, I think Smash Tour is something like you play once or twice with some friends, and then you get into some regular Smash matches. I don't know if it's something that's going to keep interest that much, but it's hard to tell until I actually got my hands on it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I will say, when we're trying to think up of what the main mode of Smash Brothers Wii U will be, what their Smash Run equivalent is. Mm-hmm. This isn't quite what I expected. I feel like it's a little bit of a letdown, and I would even say that I think Smash Run actually might be closer to that ideal than this one is. But again, I need to play more. I don't know. It just feels like a little bit of I I don't know, not quite epic enough, if you will.
Yeah, I think maybe we were expecting something a little more along the lines of an adventure mode type thing.
Yeah.
Maybe even more like a Melee-esque adventure mode. Because we all knew that the Subspace Emissary wasn't coming back, probably for the best. But I think we thought that at least some sort of adventure type mode would be making its return, and of course hasn't. But Smash Run is closer to that than Smash Tour is.
Yeah, it is. That's a weird thing.
Yeah.
I will say the Master Orders mode seems pretty cool from what I've seen so far. I only got to try the Master side. I didn't get to try the crazy side. But the way it works is you basically, you go through basically different tiers of challenges. In each tier, there are 3 different challenges you can choose between, and each one has its own difficulty setting, being easy, medium, and hard. And as you're choosing which one to pick, it tells you the attributes of each one. So, like, they're basically all different kinds of special matches. So one might have everyone being like a metal character with low gravity, or everyone might have the super spicy curry and like heavy characters or something. And then you get different rewards for playing on harder difficulty. So it seemed interesting.
Did you get the chance to try out event mode or the stage builder at all, Andre?
I did not get to try event mode, but I did try the stage builder. And it's both better than Brawls and also probably not as good as it should be at the same time. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't mean that, like, it's cool that it's there at all. It's neat that you can build your own stages. And it seems pretty robust in that the person showing off the mode there being Nate, he even made a version of the 4 side there, from Smash Bros. Melee. And it looked pretty similar to the real thing, at least in terms of, platform structure. But it's still pretty limited. It's cool that you can draw your own platforms now, freehand. But these levels are pretty static. The only moving elements you can add are really a platform that goes back and forth, along with a path you put down, and also like cannons that I think rotate in place. That's about it. So it's still pretty limited, unfortunately, and you're still stuck with just generic templates as opposed to like themed elements.
At least the templates look a little bit more interesting this time around than the stage builder from Brawl, at least from what I remember. I just remember Brawls being extremely basic, but you're right. It is interesting how they're, at least at first glance, it definitely doesn't seem to be as many like extra elements that you can put in. Just from like doing my notes for the analysis, I didn't mention this in the analysis, but I noticed there was only basically 1 page of stuff, and that was
that's it.
The spikes, the moving platforms, the cannons, and I think one other thing,
Lava.
The lava you could add, and you had either a small version or a large version. That was it.
Right.
And I don't think you saw any evidence of like more unlockable stage pieces like there was in Brawl.
I even asked, and as far as he knew, there are no unlockable pieces for it too.
So yeah, it's like you said, it's weird. It feels like it's both better and more limited than Brawl's stage builder, which is really strange.
Yeah, it is bizarre. I mean, I feel like there's so much more they could have done with it, so it is a little bit unfortunate. I'm sure we'll still see some really cool levels.
We saw some in the extravaganza. There were some really interestingly designed levels. So there is a lot. I think there's a lot more potential for creativity here, and a lot less stock levels than we saw with Brawl.
Yeah, I think the main problem is I'm sure you can make some end products that are a lot of fun. It's just that the creation process itself doesn't seem that fun, just because they are so generic looking. It would be a lot cooler, I think, if you could actually use like platforms from a Mario game, or insert like hazards from another level or something.
Well, there's always the possibility that more stage builder elements can be added later on as DLC.
I hope so. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. But on the positive side, though, events mode is back, and although neither of us got a chance to play it, I know this is something a lot of people really wanted to see come back, including myself. And I really like the format they're doing it in now, with that kind of grid style where, depending on how you do and how you clear them, you can open up different pathways, and there's certain hidden pathways that require other things for you to do to unlock. So it sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun to kind of explore that mode. Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to that. It makes it, I don't know, it expands the single player much more so than classic or all-star mode does, and I really appreciate the levels, because I like different challenges, like saying, okay, here's your limitations, here's what you got to do, go forth. And everybody remembers Event Match 51 in
yeah.
Yep.
Don't we all? Yes.
Well, guys, any other things that you want to mention about the game from your playtime with it?
Just one other thing, and that is, I know there were concerns from E3 about the post-match loading times, how it would often hang several seconds from the end of a match until the results screen, and that is not the case anymore. The results screen comes up pretty much immediately after a match ends, like it does in the 3DS version currently. So that's not a concern anymore. If there's anyone out there still worried about that, don't be.
Actually, the whole game feels pretty speedy, load time wise. Like, I thought it was actually really nice, coming from the 3DS one to here, where pretty much everything's instantaneous for the most part. There's like a few seconds to load before each match, but otherwise it's pretty much non-existent.
Well, and also coming from Brawl to here, because as great as Brawl
was, Brawl had terrible
notorious for its load times. So,
although the starting time alone, and to be fair, we don't know what that is like in this game either.
Actually, I do, because I saw her start it up at the event.
Was it pretty quick?
It was actually quite quick. So yeah, the whole game, the whole UI feels very snappy. So definitely a faster, snappier game than Brawl in terms of loading times and even the initial startup.
That's perfect.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, that reminds me, I did see somebody ask about the general feel of the game, whether it's closer to Melee, closer to Brawl, or maybe its own thing. You guys kind of mentioned that in relation to the 3DS
it's closer
version.
to the 3DS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, it feels kind of unfair to compare them to either Melee or Brawl, just because it really is its own game. I mean, I will say speed-wise, it's definitely closer to Brawl. There's no doubt about that. It's definitely, more like Brawl overall than Melee, but it is definitely faster than Brawl, and it's kind of its own thing. I mean, it doesn't really play exactly like Brawl either.
I mean, it is the 3DS version, but playing it on the TV did make it feel closer to Brawl than any other version, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, I would say it's a slightly faster, more offensive, based Brawl, but I mean, again, it really doesn't do it justice to compare it to either Brawl or Melee, because it's very much its own experience built from the ground up.
And I just want to bring up the fact of just how good this game looks. Like, playing it, in HD, true, full HD, basically, at 60 frames per second. Like, it just looks so good, especially compared to the 3DS one. It's actually kind of funny watching the Smash Brothers Direct, because they basically, even say themselves, yeah, this game looks way better than the 3DS one. And moving from that to here, it is a noticeable improvement. I mean, it looks awesome.
Well, it better be. It's 3DS compared to the Wii U. I mean,
yeah,
I have to agree. I mean, I think the 3DS version looks great for a 3DS game, but there's obviously no comparison. The Wii U version looks amazing, just like Andre said. Seeing everything, run buttery smooth at 60 frames is really nice. The 3DS version is also 60 frames, but it does tend to drop a bit if there's too much going on. I never saw that happen once in the Wii U version, even in 8-player matches. So it really is just beautiful to behold in person. And if you're watching YouTube videos of it, you are not seeing 60 frames because they usually max out at 30 frames per second. So you still, even if you've been poring over content from the game, you still have a treat in store for you when you actually see the game on your own TV, because it really is a sight in 60 frames.
Yeah, it totally is.
I've seen a lot of people incredulous that the game can actually, handle 8-player Smash and 60 frames per second and, 1080p and not chug at all. But according to you guys, that has not happened once.
I did not see it slow down.
Well, haven't you heard the Wii U is a really weak, underpowered system, so, it shouldn't be able to do that. Kidding, of course. But
the sarcasm, it burns.
Exactly. No, it really does. I mean, the Wii U has proven time and again by this point that it's really capable of some amazing things visually.
Well, guys, I think that about covers it for all our general impressions on Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. So thank you guys for watching, and if you like this video, be sure to like us on Facebook and Twitter at GameXplain. And of course, stay tuned to GameXplain for more on Smash and other things gaming too. Till next time, guys. Bye.